Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to fix a P0087 check engine light code in my 2012 Audi A6 with the 3.0. I'm going to be using Integrated Engineering's upgraded high pressure fuel pump to do it. Some of the problems the failing fuel pump is giving me is it'll have a really long crank, especially when it's cold. A lot of this is when it's cold, it's really bad. When it's warm, it's not as bad. Idling, it'll have trouble kind of idling if I go into reverse or drive from park. Even in park, sometimes it stumbles. Coming up to a red light, it'll do the same thing. It'll kind of stumble and catch itself, and it won't go past 3,000 RPM without breaking up really bad. So I'll give you guys an example now. Hopefully it'll do it. It's kind of having problems trying to idle and park. I'll pop into the drive real quick. And really having a problem there. So yeah, now we'll go try and fix that. I'll be right back. Okay, we're under the hood now. Just did a little bit of the prep work. Took this front valence off to get to the intake stuff. It's just these two little push locks. I used a little trim puller tool for it, and just some clips on the bottom. Pops right up. I also took the intake piece off. It's goes right here. There's two T25s, and it comes right off. Pulled the rest of the intake off too, and this little bracket piece, it sits right here. It's just two 10mm nuts. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this little M8 12-point star, and that goes right here, and there's another one behind it, and a 17mm wrench. Take this off, and just some pliers for that, and there's also just a plug down there too. And so yeah, I'm going to go take care of that. I'll put this on time-lapse, and I'll see you guys in a second. As you see here, I'm starting to take off the low-pressure hose with some pliers. I don't recommend you do it this way. I did eventually get the metal clip up and off the fitting, but the hose was way too stuck, and I didn't want to break it. What I ended up doing was getting the fitting off the high-pressure side from the pump, giving me enough space to get my wrench in there, and it's like a swivel type fitting, so you can actually unscrew it while the hose is still staying straight. I recommend you do it this way. It is much easier. Here I start using the M8 12-point star socket. I slowly take each bolt out, try not to drop it, and try not to lose the cam follower like I do right here. Alright, now that we have everything taken apart, I'm going to go over the new stuff a little bit. Here is the pump from Integrated Engineering. This is just one of the old sensors. It doesn't come with this one. Just use an adjustable wrench and snug it up. Pretty easy. But I am going to recommend you guys replace the cam follower. I've seen some people don't. I've seen plenty of stuff saying you should though, so I'm gonna. The other reason being, as you might see in the time-lapse, mine fell out. You really should try and catch it, because it just kind of sticks up there and then it'll fall out. But yeah, it's currently under the engine and I don't feel like getting it. And this was $15 from FCP Euro. So, the OEM Audi one is like $150. FCP Euro does like a lifetime guarantee on all their stuff, so I think it's worth it. It has this little nub on it here. You're going to want to make sure that's face down when you install it. There's a little like guide in there. I'll show you a picture now. But yeah, it only goes in one way. And I'm also going to put a little bit of oil on the roller, just so it's not going in dry. So yeah, now we'll go start putting this back together. Alright, first I'm going to start by plugging these in. Just get it out of the way now. Make sure you hear it click. Make sure they're in there good. Okay, now the cam follower. I have a little bit of oil on there. I'm just going to put this pump down a little bit. Make sure you have a good grip on that. Just kind of let it feel it until it can slide freely. I would keep one finger on there just in case. Don't want to do what I did again. And then you take this and just kind of take your finger out and replace it with the spring. And there we go. Okay, camera died. So I'm going to try this again. All I did so far was I threaded the 2 bolts in. That back one. So you see I have a little bit of a pen magnet on there just so I didn't drop it. Just kind of get it on there a few threads with that just so it doesn't fall. So yeah, we'll go back now. Just keep some pressure on the pump so this can kind of go freely. It won't walk out on you. Again, the 12-point star socket, and we're just gonna slowly walk it. A little bit on each side. A little bit on each side and just walk it in. If I can get it back on there. Back again, and more camera problems, but yeah, just kind of walked it back and forth, doing a little bit. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of a final tighten. If I can get it on there. I can barely get this on there. Jesus. There we go. Okay. Get this to ratchet a few times. I'm just kind of not crazy. I believe that's aluminum, so we don't want to strip it. But just tight enough so it doesn't leak and it ain't going nowhere. Alright, now we're gonna put these fittings back on. Get these little plastic bits out of here. And these are just 14mm. Took them out of the old one already. I'm just gonna, again, thread it in by hand first. Okay, it's actually a lot easier if you do this one first. Don't do what I did. So yeah, first tighten down the low pressure one. It's a lot easier to get at. Then do the high pressure out. It's a lot easier. And again, that is a 14mm. Alright, I'll be right back once this is back in. Okay, we got that back in. Now we're just gonna, this has a little bit of a flared end. Just gonna put that on there. Doing it by hand, and I believe that's a 17mm. I'll be right back. Yep, that's a 17mm fitting, and I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and snug on there. And now I'm just gonna put this metal clip back down on this. This is a pain in the ass, so I'll skip to when I have this on. Okay, I have that back on there now. Just use a little shot of WD-40 and walk it down with the help of a screwdriver. And it's on there. Now I'm going to put this hose back in the clip. And now we can start dressing this back up. Oh yeah, and before we forget, I'm gonna put this little bracket that's holding the high pressure fuel line back. It's a T25. Again, this wasn't in there very tight. Again, I'm just gonna do just a nice tight. Okay, and now we're just gonna put this bracket back on right here. It is just two 10mm nuts. I'm just gonna hand thread them first, and then hit them with this. And again, not too tight. Nothing on here is that tight. Okay, and now I'm gonna go put the intake back on real quick. I won't bother showing you guys that. It's pretty easy to do. And then we're gonna go we're gonna go prime the pump and make sure there's no leaks. Okay, so I have most of the intake buttoned up. I just kind of have no filter on there, but I'm gonna go just turn on the ignition and not start the car, just to get the pump primed, make sure there's no leaks anywhere. So actually, I'm going to put a paper towel down just underneath it, just in case anything does come out. And to do that, just hit the start button, but don't hit the brake pedal. It'll put it into an accessory mode. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the accessory mode on now, and nothing leaking from that fitting. Low pressure is looking good. A little bit of WD-40 on there, but nothing is actually leaking out. High pressure doesn't really have anything yet, but everything looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna give it a start. Let's see what happens. Hey, and we start right up. Now just make sure. Looks like nothing's leaking. It has a really bad exhaust leak. I'll probably have to turn that down in editing. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go take it on a test drive to make sure everything else is good though. So we'll be right back with that once I finish buttoning everything else back up. Alright, after letting it warm up a little bit and running, I cleared the codes, and we're gonna go for a quick drive, make sure everything's good. Sounds pretty good. It's not stuttering. We'll pop it into drive real quick just to make sure. Perfect. Reverse. Neutral. Park. Running perfect. Alright, I'll be right back after the drive just to make sure it's good. Alright, so it's been about a month now. Been driving it, daily. Took it on a trip, and I put about a few hundred miles on it since the install, and it's been driving great. No hiccups at all. It pulls through all the RPM just fine, just like it used to. We'll do a quick pull up here just to show you that it's working great. Alright, so here we are. Rolling. Pulls through the RPM perfect. Alright guys, and with that I'm gonna say this was a success. Said it works great. And yeah. I'll put the links to everything down in the description. And if you guys want to see more content on my Audi, I'm going to be doing a heat exchanger on it soon, get some free time. And I'm also going to be doing some more videos on my Tahoe, so stick around if you want to see more of that.